and just double checking that it's actually putting us live before I do any sort of introduction for us whatsoever. All right. I think we are live. Just going to double check on YouTube, because that's apparently the only thing that I find important today.
Yes, we are live on Twitch.
On Twitch? All right. We're live on Twitch. I'm going to assume we're live on YouTube. Yep, we're live on YouTube. So, welcome back to another installment of World War Weeb. I'm your host, Josh, here with your other host, Orphan, and our guest, Dark Sharingan, and we're here to ask you just one question. If you could describe Gurren Lagann in one word, what would it be?
Loud.
And,
Kamino.
all right, well,
Comment on.
I mean, that's fair enough.
Think of it. Every 2 seconds. Kamino, I can't do this.
Well, actually, that's the reason why I say loud, because he's always shouting.
See, me, I say phallus.
Ah.
Oh yeah. I give that. I give that. Yeah. The mechs just keep on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. God.
And all this
Fucking
drill
Gurren
and piercing, that's some spicy talk.
Simone,
Yes.
your drill will be the drill to pierce the. God damn it! It's so phallic.
Oh no, it's too
We
much.
know why that. But is that show really famous for its mecha, or is it famous for what's her name?
Yoko
damn, I
and
forgot
her
Yes, Yoko,
magnificent assets.
assets. Her amazing plot.
You know, that is some great plot.
That is some great plot.
Yes, it is. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the show, but I would buy a figurine of her.
Yeah. I have a friend who got a figurine of her and knew that for the longest time she was obviously waifu supreme, and he taunted me with pictures of his figurine of Yoko. So, for those of you who haven't figured it out by the title of this stream or by what we've been talking about, today we're going to be talking about mecha anime. Specifically, I wanted to talk about tropes, but I think Dark Sharingan was telling me he doesn't think it's as tropey as some people would think.
Yeah, the only noticeable thing I see in most mecha is that the main character, the pilot, is always a young boy, the majority of the time. But other than that, they're handled differently. I mean, there's different levels of angst between them. I mean, you can't say Hiro from Gundam Wing is anything like any other character in a typical mecha show. He's very disconnected from his emotions and his feelings, at least when he's in battle.
That's
Other characters are
true.
usually, yeah, other characters display different levels of angst, usually, but they handle things differently. For example, Kira Yamato in Gundam Seed, he's a bit of a crybaby. But Shin is angry. He's furious.
Well, I mean, when I think of tropes in mecha, I think of like the giant space battles that like always happen, even if it's not space mech. It eventually will go to space a lot of the time, or like the combining mechs. Like, I mean, I think that's actually one of my favorite tropes that came out of Japan, just in general, is the combining mech. I'm a huge Voltron fan.
Yeah, the combined mech is usually a trope of the super robot genre, which I mean,
Yeah.
Isn't that like
differentiating
Gai Gaiga or whatever?
Gal
Doesn't
Gaga.
that have
Yeah, I think
combining?
that's
Yeah.
a bit of a super robot. It's like Transformers, but more super robot.
Yeah. Well, what's the
Yeah.
difference between? I mean, is there a difference between mecha and super robot?
Well, they're both mecha, but there's super robot and real robot. There's subgenres of mecha,
Hmm.
and super robot is when things like Grendizer and they have kind of like superpowers. You know, there's some kind of magical element towards them. Whereas real robots are treated more realistically, like they are machines that need to be repaired, they need to be reloaded with weaponry, and they can break down and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Of course, there's some stuff in between. I want to use sorry to use Gundam as another example, but when you look at Gundam Seed, it's very outlandish compared to Gundam the 8th MS team. Gundam the 8th MS team is like Vietnam War, but with giant robots. And they fire predominantly giant bullets, whereas Seed has a lot of flashy lasers.
Yeah, and I think
Hmm.
that's true for a lot of anime. Like, it'll go more or less realistic with what it's doing. Like, with something like Gurren Lagann, yeah, there's mech, but the mech and the technology and things like that aren't really the point. There's a lot of I don't know. It's a bit like Kill la Kill, where a lot of the visuals are more to serve the story or some sort of like meta narrative within it, and I just went way too in depth into that, which I shouldn't. That should be its own little thing. But like, you know what I'm talking about, though. Sometimes they go for it, so it's something you can watch and believe, and sometimes it's just for the story and the boobs.
Yes, especially with Gundam 00. Like the majority of the female cast in that have humongous assets.
Well, I'm just trying to think of what that double O could stand for. Could one O
Well,
be number one and one O be number two?
well,
They're both round.
my I used sometimes I would humorously refer to Gundam 00 as Gundam Double D. And
No,
if you watch
we
the end credits of Gundam Seed, you see that the female characters are dressed very stylishly and their clothes are see through. So I call it Gundam See Through.
are you saying that these are potential titles for abridged versions of these shows?
Well, if
Yes,
anyone's
yes, he
listening to
is.
it, go ahead and do that.
I mean, I'm just saying we have an opportunity here.
Okay, I bagged you the role of Kira Yamato or Shin. I'll do either.
I mean, that's fine.
Fine, I'll be everyone's favorite edge lord in Wing.
Oh
Sex
goodness,
Marquise.
it's already happening.
Oh yes, you can't talk about Mecha without talking about Gundam. It's one of the most influential
Oh yeah, like
titles.
it sometimes it's the only one that people know to even like talk about. When I say Voltron, I expected that more people would know about Voltron, like especially when like, like he mentions it in Deadpool, and the fact that he knows a lot about it is the nerdy joke, but I what's the word I'm looking for? um I didn't realize that people actually didn't know about it, and it freaked me out a little bit.
I think it's because
But everyone knew it.
Voltron. Oh,
Voltron was Voltron was pretty crazy at some points too, with the
Oh yeah.
Evil Empire, with the way
I
they
think
were displayed doing stuff.
was Voltron a toy franchise, or rather, should I ask, did it have a toy line accompanying it in
It
the U.S.?
did, yes.
It did, and I had one as a kid. I had the
Yes.
actual Beast Voltron version of the
Ooh,
robot.
nice.
Yeah, it was
That's
cool. It was only like 20 centimeters high, but it was
Hmm.
really good detail. It was cool. I used to screw around with it a lot as a kid.
because usually it's the a toy that's the driving force of a lot of mecha shows.
Oh yeah.
It's worth pointing out. I don't remember where I read this, but I'm very certain I read it somewhere that some toys in the '80s, robot toys, they were just designed as toys. Then they would go to an animation studio, or someone would go to an animation studio and say, "Here, make this into a cartoon," and that
Yeah,
would
it's
Do it
called
now.
Transformers.
pardon.
That was Transformers.
No, okay, that was Transformers. No, Transformers. That's a bit confusing. Kind of with Transformers, but there was You know what? It is exactly Transformers. I don't know why I'm trying to. Uh, I don't know why I saw it as something different, but that's what happened. Yeah, Transformers. A studio made a story out of it, and then they made it into a cartoon. But I'm just saying that's common practice. That
Mm,
was common practice for other shows.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, I mean, merchandising is a really big deal, and I guess going the opposite direction kind of makes sense in a way, because merchandising was what made Return of the Jedi do so well. Um, and that's almost a mecha. They have giant robots. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
no,
they
and
do.
that's probably a stretch. They did have
Yeah.
teddy bears.
No, what about? I suppose you could call like Power Rangers somewhat of a
Well, yeah,
giant
it
robo
it
show
it
because
has
I mean they do combine to form a
yeah.
giant mech and like they get bigger and everything.
No,
Yeah,
excuse
exactly.
me, it's not a mech, it's a Zord.
Oh, we're
Same
talking about mechs
difference.
right now, so there's the same difference. Yeah,
I know.
same difference.
You know, in the thumbnail for this video, I actually used images from the Voltron reboot. Have y'all seen the reboot?
I've seen bits of it,
I've
but
seen bits. Yeah.
It
I don't know. It looks nice.
it got away from itself after the first few seasons, but the first few seasons are really strong. Like, goddamn. I wasn't expecting it to be so good because I remember going back to old episodes of Voltron. I feel like this is a lot of older mecha anime. Like you go back to these older episodes and you're like, oh, this is not nearly as good as I thought it was as a kid. Ooh, yeah, this is bad.
Yeah,
Like the dub of for well, Voltron used to be Go Lions, but when it was dubbed into Voltron,
Go Lions.
so many things were changed from the original Go Lion days. That Pidge was a oh god, what was Pidge? Pidge was raised by ninjas and sounded like this or whatever. It was so bad. I'm really glad that they made Pidge. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a plot line with Pidge. Pidge is very much changed in the reboot, in a really interesting way, I think. Um,
Mm.
but in one of the latter seasons, like when the writing was terrible, you could tell that nobody wanted to be there. They at least had a little bit of fun, and they included that line at the end of an episode, like just at the end of the credits of an episode in like season 7 or something like that. It was great. Um,
I mean,
So we're kind of
instead of
doing a ghost stories thing at the end there.
yeah, a little bit.
but instead of a Voltron remake, I would have preferred. Why did they just remake Go Lion? I mean, a lot of shows from the '80s
Because
okay got a
Voltron was more
lot.
popular than Go Lion ever was.
Yeah, I guess some
Mm.
And
more
Voltron
mainstream
is the name
viewers.
that people remember.
Yeah.
For example, there are references that they made in the new Voltron that only work because of the whole Go Lion Voltron thing. It relied on both of them having existed because they changed the fuck what I forget the name, but there was a guy. There was a character who died off fairly early in the first season
of the original.
of the original Go Lions.
Oh yes,
And then they ended up bringing in his brother, but they looked really similar, so they essentially made it to where they were just the same person, and they named him Sven, and he sounded fucking weird. But they made reference to that, so, um,
yeah.
but
The
yeah,
original Voltron is known for its infamous censorship.
yes, and they made a lot of reference to that, and they had a lot of in jokes for people who know about that side of things, um,
That
and I
Yeah, but
just
that being said,
yeah.
oh sorry,
No, go ahead. I was done.
I was gonna say that was there a Voltron movie? I think I saw clips, and it was
Uh,
more violent, even the English version.
yes, actually, yes, yeah, there was. I used to have
Yeah,
it on my computer. I don't have it anymore.
yeah, it shows what cinema can get away with that TV couldn't back in the day.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially with animation.
Oh, someone says hi. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Apparently, well, according to the comments last time, I think that's your wife, Orphan. At
Hi.
least that is what this person claims,
Okay then.
if I'm remembering that
Um,
correctly. I can go back and look at the comment, but yeah, I'm fairly certain that it's let's say an internal fan. But hello, people in the comments, all however many of you are watching at this point.
please, please
Oh
get more
god, why is
viewers.
my sound still on? I was just checking the stream on my phone and I forgot the sound was on. I hope that didn't come through. Anyway, back to mecha anime.
So, going back to Transformers,
Hmm.
it doesn't. I don't think Transformers has much of a presence in the anime fandom, and I wonder
Hmm.
why. Because Transformers has had anime adaptations, and
Hmm.
some people might consider the original series an anime, or at least have very strong anime influence. In fact, I remember the day when people saw Gundam, a lot of people would say, "Oh, it's Japanese Transformers," or it's some kind of Transformers, except from Japan.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
I mean, I knew
I
a
don't.
lot of kids who said that about Gundam and Voltron when I was a kid.
But in the anime fandom itself, I don't see Transformers being so big. Does anyone
Yeah.
have an idea why that's the case?
I think it's because a lot of people
Mm.
just like to say, hey, I like this thing from Japan. Ha ha. Or because they want to shy away from the Michael Bay fiasco.
Oh, yeah, stay away from that. That is not Transformers.
Oh no,
Okay, my
I'm not gonna lie, they're terrible, but I love the Michael Bay Transformers movies because they're really pretty to look at most of the time, and sometimes I just want something pretty to look at.
dude, they look like piles of junk having an orgy when they move.
I I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on which one you look at because the designs when they're shown like full on and in a good frame, I think it really works. But in some
Yeah,
cases, I can see where you just see nothing but machinery.
Mm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't understand how the corner of a window could be something that's on top of the robot's head, and another piece could be somewhere in their toe. I just find it overly. I mean, now that you remind me, people did complain that Bayformers is um, overly complex in
Hmm.
design.
Oh yeah, like that was, and I
Yeah.
actually knew one of the guys who worked on a single leg. They had one guy working on a leg of one of these things, and I was talking to him. He was like, "Yeah, no, it's so complicated, but it's so much fun." I'm like, you know what? It sounds like it was fun to make. It's if you turn your brain off. I'm gonna start it with that. If you turn your brain off, it's pretty to look at. Um, like it's got good effects. It's got good cinematography. It's got okay color grading, but as a colorist myself, I just look at the orange and teal look and I'm just like, yeah, you were just lazy.
Yeah, the kind of color contrast that you would see in a movie poster. You know, it's
Yeah.
always the orange and black and white, or the orange and blue.
Have
There's
you ever
always
heard the
that
phrase
kind of
every frame a
combination.
painting?
Yeah.
I haven't
Okay,
heard the
this
phrase.
is every frame a movie poster. And sometimes I just want to watch every frame a movie poster. I mean, that's why that's like a third to half of the reason why I enjoy Kung Fury is because every single frame is a movie poster.
Oh, Kung Fury, that was fun.
That's a mecha anime, obviously.
Yes, it is.
They're making a sequel.
Oh, that'd be. I hope they get David Hasselhoff to sing another cool
I
song.
know, right? Oh, I need it so much in my life right now.
Anyway, the point I was trying to make is that I was trying to transition to detailing, because when you
Mm,
look at old mecha, they were very boxy. And I've
yeah,
actually
yeah.
heard people complain that modern mecha are overly complex. I mean, they're certainly more angular, they're certainly more detailed, but I like that. I think in a good way they are. I mean, they're not Bayformers nonsense. I mean,
Well,
they just
yeah, because The Transformers
Let's
in
just,
Michael Bay's had like gears that didn't do anything. It's randomly
yeah.
there.
I mean, let's compare Voltron, Saber Rider. You guys know Saber Rider, right?
Uh,
Saber Rider. I've heard of it. I haven't watched it though.
Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs. Okay.
I I am I am liking what I'm seeing. I am putting this on the stream because gosh darn it, this looks beautiful.
In Japan, it's called Star Musketeer Bismarck, and it's suffered from censorship.
Okay, Star Musketeer
So
Bismarck. I've definitely heard of. Okay,
yeah,
I've heard of that. I've
yeah,
seen like
that's
short bits of it, but I haven't caught the whole thing.
yeah. Well, the dub, well, I use that term loosely. The dub is Saber Rider. Anyway, yeah, robots from that time were much more boxy, and they looked cool still, in my opinion. Oh yeah. Oh, you see this guy on the picture.
Yeah,
In the dub, he's the main character. But if you can find another picture with the guy in the red uniform,
I don't
the
know,
guy
but
in the
there's a
red is the
girl in a red uniform, and I'm not
well,
unhappy.
she's the love. Wait, go to the
Uh,
picture above. No, next the one next to it.
what?
Oh, or that one. Go.
Oh, here we
Ooh.
go. This one has him. Try to zoom into that. Are you talking about this guy?
Yep, in Japan, the guy sitting down on the yeah, in the red, the guy in the red, he was
Mm-hmm.
the main character.
Oh.
And the girl was the love interest. I mean, yeah, like in the Japanese version, the guy in the black is the leader,
Mm-hmm.
but the main character is the guy in red.
That's
Yeah, the guy
crazy.
in blue, he's American. He's like a cowboy. The guy in black, he's British, and obviously our main character is Japanese, and the
Mm-hmm.
girl is French, if I remember correctly.
Oui, oui. S'il vous
And in
plaît.
of course, the dub
Oui, oui.
completely eradicates. Well, they did keep the British guy, and the robot was voiced by Peter Cullen
Ooh.
in the very few scenes it spoke.
Optimus Prime.
Acknowledge April. Let's form Volt. Oh no, wait, I'm missing.
Autobots,
Well, he
form
did. Well,
Voltron.
he did. He was the narrator, and he was also
Mhm.
run him up, move him out. Yeah, that's what he said in Voltron. Yeah, okay.
On a
That's
planet not unlike
Saber Rider.
Earth.
Well, that
So yeah,
that
if you see
change
the robot,
does. Yeah,
how it
that
is
that
more
I
boxy.
just realized that that's a weird thing. Like they changed a lot back then in those animes. Like they changed the main character
It did,
there.
yeah.
They made Sven out of two completely separate characters in Voltron. Did they do anything like that in Gundam?
No, but there was an attempt to bring SD Gundam in the States by creating an original animated project, and they called it Doozy Bots, where the some
Oh
kids,
God!
yeah, some kids who look like the characters of the Burger King gang, or they transfer their minds into little robots and they fight a chicken robot.
What?
It's very bad. Yeah, what were they thinking? They wanted to bring a kiddie-friendly Gundam to the U.S. They were ready
Uh,
to. It didn't get picked up. The only thing that exists is a trailer.
I'm really
Oh God,
concerned
but
right now.
what's up?
No, no, just about
But
what I was just told about.
yeah,
Well,
look up.
yeah. It's kind of like making Gasaraki into a happy-go-lucky sports anime.
So
It's
what
just
was
not
that
gonna
cady
work.
again?
Doozy Bots. It was focused more on the SD Gundam line. Doozey.
EY?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's okay.
Space
First
Oh
Bots.
pictures
no.
are of what I assume is a robotic chicken. This looks amazing, and I need this in my life.
Well, a trailer is all that exists. It did not get picked up. And look, they do look like the Burger King gang.
They, oh my god, they do. Why?
And you also have to have the Einstein look-alike scientist. Tropes of that era.
God, that dude with the white hair. He looks like an even like worse version of the scientist from Mega Man.
And you know what
Oh,
the
Jesus
most
Christ.
embarrassing part is? This trailer was animated by Sunrise.
Oh
Oh
god.
no.
That would not be one of their happy moments.
Well, Madhouse animated the American Street Fighter cartoon. They don't have much to be proud of there.
Well, at least that cartoon has some redeeming qualities to it, though, man.
Yeah, Scott McNeil
Delicious!
Just look
as
at this face,
Ken.
though. Look at that face.
Look at what the fuck?
He's so happy to be in this wheelchair.
Oh yeah, and when his mind is transferred to the robot that has wheels.
No, no, no. No, you're
Yeah,
joking. You
I
are joking.
no way.
No, where? Where is this? I need to find this. I need to see the
Sweet
robots.
Razor one says you got games on your phone.
Oh, son
Wait,
of a...
who's got games on their
No,
phone?
no, no. Don't engage. Don't encourage him. I know this guy.
Yeah, that chicken needs energy so it can lay eggs to make even
No,
more
no, no. Stop it.
Cybermen-like robots.
No. It's not okay. None of this is okay, and all of it is beautiful, and I don't know how to feel right now.
Yeah, they
Wait,
don't
I
use
can't see
gun-
chat. Chat's not moving for me. What the hell?
Yeah, it's fine with me. No, don't expose me. We will expose. Oh yeah, and they don't use guns and missiles as their weapons. They use things like bubble gum and instruments. I don't know. This is if you look at the third picture, you'll get a good look at the robots. Obviously, the
Yeah,
one in
so
front is a Gundam.
wait, so is his the one with like the treads? Is that
Yeah.
the wheelchair guys?
Yes.
That's I don't know how to feel about
Well,
any of this.
it has a diverse cast at least.
I but,
The SJWs would be proud.
I just
Hey, why is the African American in a wheelchair? And why is the white one the leader?
I don't know. I
My
don't.
god.
I'm very concerned right now about everything. I don't know what to do with this information. I want to go home.
You are home.
I know. I'm streaming from home. That's the terrible part. I want to get more
You
home.
need an adult, and we are all adults.
I don't want to be
And
an
the
adult anymore.
The show says to you, I am an adult. I am an adult. Whichever version you want. Wow,
I
he's
need
paralyzed
an
even though
adult.
he's got robot
I am an
parts.
adult. No, no, you are not. I love that line so much. Just no, no, you are not. Oh, the bridge series.
Shall we move on from this?
Yes, please, before I have brain aneurysm out of sheer stupidity.
Okay, how many of you have seen Robotech?
Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, how did I forget about
Ackross.
Robotech?
Yeah, that's a Frankenstein
Robotech.
monster of an anime.
Dude, Robotech was the shit.
You know, I
Damn.
might
was
as well bring
good.
up a little bit of trivia. The toy, it was brought in by Hasbro and
Mhm.
marketed as the Transformer Skyfire, but due to copyright reasons, they didn't want to. They knew this show was going to air in Japan. They had to change his design, but for the show. But the toy itself is the Valkyrie from Robotech, Skyfire.
Yeah. Dude, I actually just rewatched the first Robotech OVA like a few weeks ago. No, God, no, it was longer than that. It was actually a couple months ago now that I think about it. But I rewatched it and I don't know what it is. Like there are some things that don't hold up as well, but by God, the things that do, it's just really fun, it's really engaging, and it doesn't hold back, and God, I love this anime so much.
Oh yeah, but it has the misfortune of being Oh, Orphan just
Oh,
left. Oh
maybe
wait,
he's
he's back.
resetting something.
Welcome back. Yeah, but Robotech
Hey.
is actually three unrelated anime, but similar, spliced together into a full series in the American version.
Right.
I'm sure you're aware of that.
Oh yeah. That's what made it fun.
But are you aware that the original series got a redub by
No.
ADV Films?
No, I did not know that.
Hmm. Damn.
Oh, well, it's worth a watch.
No, I'll have to take a look at that.
Yep.
Well, because the Robotech movies were my jam, mostly because for some reason they were I don't know how to describe it. Just like they described everything that was good and bad about anime at that time in the most perfect way possible, just by existing.
Now, I don't want to bring up any controversies, but when you look at the voice actors of the ADV redub of
Mm-hmm.
Macross, it'll be very ironic.
Yeah, yeah, you're not
I
wrong.
will tell you after the show. But anyway, the Robotech
Well,
movie was
I'm just
also
thinking because I remember the only voice actor I can remember from the original. Well, maybe not the original. I'm trying to. God, I'm just trying to remember now. Yeah, we'll have to talk about it after the podcast because I'm just trying to remember the cast. The only person I can remember is Vic Mignogna, and I can't remember
yes.
anyone else.
Well, you said it. He plays the main character in
And
the
he did
redub.
play the main character in the original, right? I'm not going crazy. I'm not taking crazy pills.
No,
He didn't.
no, he didn't.
Oh, then
In,
did I just watch the redub? I think I'm going crazy. I think I'm just going insane.
wow, because the his love interest at the end is you know who.
Okay, okay, yeah,
Oh
okay.
god.
Anyway,
Anyway, the Robotech movie. You've seen the first movie, right?
yeah.
And there's this new character in a yellow shirt, black leather jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that movie is two different movies spliced together. Now, the first movie is one of the movies is an actual thing called Megazone 23, totally unrelated to um, Robotech.
Right.
Megazone 23, and Vic once again plays the main character,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a great OVA on its own. There's 4 episodes, well, 2 movies, and a disjointed third part of 2 episodes.
Hmm. Well, I mean,
So yeah,
whatever bloats your
Robotech.
goat.
Yeah, Robotech is just different franchises spliced together.
I'm oddly okay with that.
I see a lot of people are because anime fans are known to be like, we want the shows uncut, uncensored, and the dubs to be true to the source material. They attempted Robotech. It's, I mean, sorry, Macross into I'm having a stroke over here. They
Mm-hmm.
attempted to dub Macross as it was, just like fans usually demand, but
Mm-hmm.
for some reason, very few people know of its existence. At least as far as I can see.
Hmm. Well, that's a thing, I guess. I don't think people actually know what they want, in all honesty.
Yeah, that's probably true. No, that is true.
And that does include me. I don't always know what I want, and then I'm given what I want, and I realize, oh, I wanted that. Thank you. Like the Voltron reboot, I was like, I what? Why would I want this? Like what? Voltron was like it's nostalgic. Why would you do this? And then I saw it was animated by Studio Mir, and Studio Mir does some amazing work. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna watch it for that. And I sit down and I start watching it, and I'm just like hooked. Like I didn't know I needed this in my life.
I'm
Same with like
hesitant to watch
Konosuba.
it.
Hmm? Sorry, what was that?
I'm hesitant to watch it, but I'll tell you the reasons at the end of the stream.
Oh, okay.
Uh, let's see. Okay, we'll be sorry to bring it up again, but would again we may have said this. Overall, would you consider Evangelion to be a mech?
I guess it depends on how you define it, because technically, yes, there are giant robots, but it's not.
Yeah, the
But are they robots?
biomechs,
They're
they're still
they're,
mechs.
they're biomechs, and I think the idea is that it's some form of robotics controlled by either controlled by a person or containing some form of a conscious ability and personality. So, with it being biomechs, I would, I guess I would have to say yes, but we also have to figure out where exactly the line is drawn because otherwise, the joke I made just before the podcast about Attack on Titan just being meat mechs is a genuine possibility at this point.
Yeah, which
Which I
also
wouldn't have
brings
a
up
problem with as
a
long as we're
sim-
consistent.
yeah, a similar question on Attack on Titan's end is that does it count as a kaiju?
Hmm. I don't know. So to me, kaiju is usually a giant monster able to destroy a city that is non-humanoid. Like even when they have to have humans in the costumes in the early days, it's a non-humanoid creature.
Hmm.
People would argue King Kong is humanoid.
I mean,
That
that's
he's
a
a
fair
monkey.
point. I would say humanoid in the Dungeons and Dragons sense, because an ape is not a humanoid in the Dungeons and Dragons sense. So humanoid would be someone that you would expect to have a conversation with, someone that you would like see as a person. King Kong is intelligent, but there are also some people who just would say that King Kong isn't kaiju as well, which I do
Hmm.
think King Kong is kaiju, but I
Yeah, it's
wouldn't.
gotcha.
But I wouldn't say that. That outside of making a joke about it, I wouldn't say that Jack and the Beanstalk was kaiju.
Right. Yeah, you're right there.
So I guess it's the how human it looks and whatever the cutoff would be. Then again, some of the Titans are really fucking weird. So it's so muddy with Attack on Titan, and I like it's.
Well, now we know how they're formed, so I guess maybe I don't know. Should I spoil it?
um I guess if you haven't caught up on Attack on Titan, you don't enjoy it enough to care about spoilers. So here's your only warning. Okay, go dark.
Since the Titans are formed by the pause button, hit the button, the volume button, people
It's
now.
a button.
They are formed by there's just people transforming into them. Yeah, that's how far I've made it in. If there's a further explanation, cut me off right now. But transforming into a giant thing, I think that subtracts its kaiju-ness from its kaiju-ness.
Yeah, it's more of a
Hmm.
I don't know. Is there a word for that?
Diminish.
No, I mean like a for a trope where someone turns into a giant monster.
Huh.
I don't
Let
think
me
it
look
has a
that up.
name, even though
Like it's not
it's
as
been
common
done
as like
before.
mech or kaiju, but it's still like yeah, it's been done before. I would consider it a trope.
Hmm.
Well, now we're just gonna be thinking about that all night.
Let me see. I'll look.
And
I'll look it up on
more importantly,
online. So,
why do Titans of all of the features that Titans do not have, why do Titans not have wangs?
Well, they addressed that in the second or third episode. They just don't have them.
Well, yeah, they address the fact, well, look, they don't have them. Isn't that crazy? It doesn't explain why they don't have them. Now that we
yeah.
know where they come from, why were they invented without wangs?
Sweet
Oh,
Mother
okay. There is a
Teresa
name
in the
for it.
back
It's
seat of a Mercedes Benz.
I think there is a name for it. From what I can see, it's called "Was Once a Man."
Was once a man.
Was once a man. Okay, I can dig it.
Okay, back to Mecha. Okay, another topic which is frequently brought up with Mecha is Astro Boy. Would you consider that a Mecha?
Ooh,
Mm,
so Here's a question: would
I
you
don't
consider
think.
Astro Boy anime?
Yes.
Because there are people who don't.
Why?
Okay, so and no, here's the reason why. Because first of all, it was heavily influenced. It's considered the first anime by most people, or one of, if not the first anime ever shown. Definitely the first serialized anime. It had heavy Disney influences, obviously, and it's so drastically different from what anime became later on that people don't consider it anime because they believe anime has a very specific style. So I'm not going to get too far into that because I know I really want to do an actual edited video on what anime is, but I just wanted to ask that question to see your reactions. But as far as it being
Oh,
mecha,
I mean, he is a robot.
he is a robot, but he's not a giant robot. Does that count?
Um, is there a rule that states mecha have to be giants? I mean, that is a common
Like
trope.
it's the
That's
most,
the thing with super robots. Well, super robots have to be giant,
but not all
pretty much.
mecha is giant
Not
robots.
all mecha.
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
would you consider Cyborg 009 to be an anime? To be a mecha?
To be an anime, no. No, I do not. It's not an anime. Cyborg
Look,
009 is a live action remake of Ants.
are you pulling my leg, or is there such a thing?
Um, I'm mostly pulling your leg, but I kind of want to go through Cyborg 009 again and see if there are correlations between that and Ants, or if my brain was just being random right now, which is probably the case. But I'm gonna make it happen. I'm going to be that asshole.
I guess you could say it is Astro Boy is a mecha, but the thing is, when people think mecha, they think heavy space dramas, political sides, political stories, and all that. This
What? No,
all this
heavy
is
space drama. That's generally space opera, isn't it?
oh, that too. I
Well,
mean,
space
Gundam.
opera is most famous for it, but it's not the only thing. And plus, just because it's mecha doesn't mean it
Yeah.
can't also be a space opera. Like
Yeah,
not
I mean,
true.
like genres are not mutually exclusive with each other. You can have a comedy horror, you can have uh,
Yeah.
a sci-fi space opera, which sounds like space opera is already sci-fi, but not necessarily.
I guess you could say
Yeah.
the mecha aspects, attributes of Astro Boy take a backseat to his more human side, to his more boyish side,
Mm,
and be
Yeah.
more of a superhero show. But
I mean,
that
yeah.
so
The whole thing of Astro Boy is he wants to be human. He wants to be
yeah,
as human as possible. He's yearning for all the human experience.
that seems to be a common trope just with robots in general through fiction. You've got Data from Star Trek, you've got Astro Boy, you've got the Bicentennial Man. Um, you've got have either of y'all seen Ex Machina?
Appleseed.
Ex Machina. It's a live action American film.
I was
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, it's so good.
because
Um,
there's an anime kind of mecha called Appleseed Ex Machina.
oh yeah, I've heard of that. I haven't seen Appleseed. Let me
Appleseed is really good.
If
Appleseed Ex
um
Machina.
if you're nostalgic for old CGI movies that look like PS2 graphics, then go to that.
Nostalgic? No. Willing to watch? Yes.
It actually looks better than that, man. Come on, it looks better than PS2 graphics.
I'm not
Get out of here.
disparaging it. I'm not disparaging it. That's part of the reasons why I like it. I don't mean like it looks like games. It looks like cutscenes. Like the movie from
Ah,
the
okay.
second game.
Yeah, there's Briarios. I see him.
I
Looking there,
can
standing
really
there like
dig that
looking like a
design.
badass. Yeah, it looks cool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Created from the same creator as Ghost in the Shell.
Well, now
Shiro
I have to
Masumune.
watch it.
Yeah. Would you consider Ghost in the Shell mecha?
I mean, given the new criteria you've given me, um, I guess. I mean, like, at what point does it become because she's? I mean, she's. I don't know how to describe it. She's technically a cyborg, to a
Not just
degree.
her. Most of the Section 9 cast.
Yeah.
The touch combers are definitely like mini mecha things. I mean, they're cool. I mean, they have a definition of a mecha. Like you've got a person inside the thing riding around. I mean, they're
Well, I
like
mean,
mini
that's
tanks, but
God.
that's
I
kind of like
I
a mecha.
don't want to get too deep into Ghost in the Shell, and I will if you let me. But like,
Same.
I mean, my name is Josh in the Shell. It should be obvious at this point. What will set me off into a fucking rant, but like but that's the weird thing. It's like it. So it's all I don't know. Like they're piloting their own bodies.
Yeah, pretty much.
And they
It's
can
they
they can
haven't
move
really
their
gotten into what it's like to be in one of the cyborg bodies. They got into it a bit in manga, but it's like
Yeah.
they never you never see things from Toko's point of view, which I would actually really appreciate seeing.
Mm.
Because you gotta wonder, like, okay, you're a cyborg, you're constantly connected to the net and constantly like searching stuff out for old Eight Face in
Mm-hmm.
Section 9. Yes, that is a reference. If you don't get it, well, I know most people would get it, I think, but yeah, you're looking up stuff for old Eight Face, like, what does that look like? Is it like augmented reality type shit, or is it like so many interesting things from Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah. It's hard to visualize because it's not like they're looking with their eyes,
Yeah.
but at the
the
same
thing to
time,
note
like
about Ghost in the Shell that was the only thing that's human about them is their brains.
yeah.
And if you remember that scene in the movie, the original
Mm-hmm.
movie, how there's this um, montage-like thing where she's going around the city and she's seeing other people who look exactly like her and mannequins who look like her. So obviously she is a model,
Well, that
and
brings
a
up
model is a
Robot Man.
yeah.
He's just a brain in a jar, essentially. Let me
They did
see.
something
What is it?
similar to in Bubblegum Crisis OVA called AD Police Files, where the only thing left from a guy
Oh,
I used
who
to
was
have that
hurt in a
graphic
blast.
novel. I don't know where it
Oh
went
yeah,
though.
yeah. One character he lost his body. All that survived was his brain and his tongue, and he would just bite his tongue just to have some kind of feeling, just so he could feel something.
Wiccan Witches of the West. I remember a TV series on Jetix. It was about a cyborg boy with red hair that fought bad guys, and he thought his father was a giant machine, but it was a dude inside powering the suit and controlling it. I think it was American based.
I
It's not.
remember something like that, but I just don't know
I
what
don't
the
know what
hell it
Jetix
is.
is. I'm just gonna look up Jetix Cyborg and see what's going on. Well, that's not helpful.
I mean,
Um,
I mean, we have to differentiate from something that looks mecha or feels mecha. Astro Boy definitely doesn't feel like a mecha,
True,
but
Mm.
it's
but by
There are
definition,
some mecha in it though.
yeah, there. Yeah, I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah.
But is a robots is are they the theme of Astro Boy, or does him wanting to be a human does that take center stage?
I think he
oh,
wanted to be human takes center stage on that, like reverse transhumanism, maybe.
I forgot what it was. Hang on. So now that I'm
Sonic
seeing this
has a lot of
logo,
mecha.
like it sounds familiar, but I can't quite place it.
Again, Sonic has a lot of mecha in it,
That's
but no one
true.
would say
But
that's a
does that
mecha.
make it a mecha though? Because it's not
I
because
hate
they're not
that.
the main characters. Do they have to be the main
Yeah.
characters, or does it just have to be common?
I think it. I think it would just have to be common.
You know what? When you watch Sonic, do you watch it for the mecha or do you watch it for Sonic?
Hmm.
I'm just
I
asking
think that's
DuckDuckGo, is Sonic mecha? Just give me a bunch of Mecha Sonic stuff.
Metal Sonic. Goddamn.
this stream is not sponsored by DuckDuckGo,
It's
but it's
not, but I trust DuckDuckGo far more than Google.
yeah. I've seen the difference in this image
Yeah.
searches.
Well, yeah,
It's
the
DuckDuckGo's a lot.
there's a little bit less censorship, or not censorship per se, but like there's a little bit less curation. Google does a lot of curation of its search results, and I don't like that. Um, Bing, Yahoo, and DuckDuckGo all do less of that, but DuckDuckGo is also private, so. All right, here we go. This is the most important
Huh.
search I've done all night.
You know, oh boy.
Hey, I have a new Sonic OC called hmm, Sonic. Sonic the Fast Hog. Yeah, I'm faster than Sonic ever will be.
Texas. I'm sorry. I'm reading the comments and I'm trying to figure out what this cartoon is.
Hey, 13 King, what's going on? Yeah,
So,
me too. I want to know what
Yeah,
it is
it's just
too. I
gonna keep
vaguely
giving me a
remember it.
whole bunch of like DC and Marvel stuff. Cause like Red Tornado and Cyborg, duh. I just I wish I knew.
Wait, try typing in Jetix Texas Tornado. Uh,
Cartoon maybe?
cartoon. Yeah, maybe
No,
something might
hang
come
on.
up on YouTube or something. Okay, that didn't help.
Well, I
cartoon.
think it's I think part of
Look,
it
you got
is the
some.
fact that it's not necessarily including Jetix. You gotta boolean this bitch. Boolean search, son, and it's still ignoring me. Don't ignore me. Oops.
Well, while we're waiting,
Yeah, it's
what
doing the
category
same
would you?
thing.
All right.
No, sorry, go
Man,
ahead.
was it yeeted from all
Okay.
consciousness or what?
I'll
Jesus,
just.
what the hell?
So someone play the X-Files theme. No, I think wasn't Jetix connected to Disney?
Yeah, I think no, Disney or Fox Kids, or were they connected to Saban? But then Saban was later bought by Fox Kids. So no,
Hmm.
Saban was bought by
Yeah, that's what
Disney.
I thought. Yeah, it was for the action related and adventure related animated stuff. Um, it was what they had before Disney XD.
You know, Naruto or Shippuden originally aired on Disney XD first.
Oh, that's right, it did.
It did,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember everyone was complaining that it was going to be Disneyfied and censorship. They mistook it airing on Disney XD to it being dubbed by Disney.
Well, no, it
Yeah, I
was still
mean,
censored to hell though.
well, no, because that was back in the day when like Funimation had its own like on-demand channel on cable. Like
Yeah,
that was my introduction to anime because I knew a lot of anime before that, but I didn't know it was anime. And then a
yeah.
friend of mine introduced me. I'll be honest, it was a girl I was trying to impress, and she introduced me to anime, so I was like, I have to learn all about this. And then I found out that I had already been watching anime.
I caused the relationship to die because I introduced this girl to Full Metal Alchemist, and her boyfriend hated that because he hated me, and she was so into FMA.
Here we go. List of programs broadcast by Jetix. Oh my god, Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go, yes! Oh my god, do you remember this show? I just had a little freak out, I'm sorry. I'm okay.
Super Robot Monkeys. I could read the whole thing. Super Monkey Team Hyperforce Go.
Like, look at this stuff. Look at it. This was the shit. It was awful, and it was terribly written, and I loved it. It
Just
was,
like the English version of Samurai Pizza Cats. Haha!
oh my
Samurai
god.
Pizza Cat.
Although, honestly, it's every version of Samurai Pizza Cats.
Pretty much.
Like, I don't know what it was, but like I loved this. It was just like little robot monkey Power Rangers. and it was so
Does this
stupid,
count
and
as
I loved
mecha?
it. Hmm.
Does this count as mecha? I'm sorry to keep bringing up
Ah,
that question.
that's. I
I mean,
mean,
if we're talking about mecha and we're talking about things that we keep going into things that we're questioning is mecha, doesn't that kind of make a mecha in a way?
I guess the title of this video is now starting to make sense. Just how I mech'd your mother. Your mother is now a mech. We're just
Sit
making
down,
everything a
kid.
mecha.
Let me tell you a story of how I mech'd your mother.
Wait, no, isn't that just Evangelion?
Pretty much.
I just
Oh god.
realized. I just realized. Oh my god. How did
So
like Boba and I came up with that title like last week, and somehow it took me until now, and I need to ask her if that's what she meant, or if this is just like a happy coincidence that took me a week to figure out. Because that's honestly the most beautiful thing I could have ever realized, I think, today. Anyway, I'm gonna
you
keep
had
going
something
through
there
the
without realizing.
Dragon Booster. Hang on.
Again, you had something there without realizing.
I'm sorry. I'm just going through Jeddick shows now to see essentially how many of them were Mecha, and then to see if I can find the one that Wiccan was talking about. I don't remember this show at all. Dragon
Okay,
Booster.
you've got two ends of the subgenres. You've got the super robot and the real robot.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where would you place Transformers in that?
I, I
I mean, they don't seem
guess.
to have superpowers, so they're
I mean,
not
it depends on which
traditionally.
version you're talking about, I guess. But for the most part, in the cartoons, I mean, would you count transforming as a superpower?
Well, no, it's more of a function because they have to be
Yeah.
built to be able to do that.
Yeah.
They also like I don't know, they'd be biobots, wouldn't they, as well, because they bleed, they take in energon to survive.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's like
it's like another way of charging. You know, taking electricity.
hmm.
And I don't think they were bio in all incarnations, especially not the original cartoon or most of the
Hmm.
Japanese exclusive. This was something that was introduced in the Marvel comics and somehow just squeezed into a lot of the American fiction.
Hmm.
And that's an attribute I personally do not like. But I don't want to rant on that too much. But the thing about Transformers is that taking it in its purest form, it's it is very grounded compared to a lot of Super Robot, but it is very Super Robot and out there compared to real Robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of
There's
a
like
happy
cases of
medium.
both things, there's cases of both because I mean, look at Unicron. That thing's a super robot if I've ever seen one.
Oh
That
yeah.
thing's it's like that thing's huge.
Yeah,
Oh
because
my
someone
god.
materialized the body for Starscream in one episode.
Well, and remember, there are also all sorts of different sizes and classes of robots in Transformers because they wanted a whole bunch of different toys to sell, basically. Um,
Yeah.
but that
Oh
also
yeah,
meant that, like, Bumblebee was really small because he was just a little beetle. But Optimus Prime, being a big ass fucking truck, like when he transformed, he was even bigger than the fucking truck that he was.
well, the problem with that, if you're looking from the toy perspective, is that originally Transformers, when it was brought over to the U.S., it was a bunch of toys from different lines in Japan, so there was no scale accuracy between them.
Right.
So that's what
Hmm.
happened. So in order to play with these toys, you needed to use your imagination if you were imagine them as what you saw in the cartoon. Because Optimus Prime, he barely, Bumblebee barely reaches his ankle in the toy.
Dude, Optimus Prime Chronicle. Look at this. Look at this.
This, this is high tech for my
This
80s standards.
this
That's
right
still impressive
here.
today.
This is what we wanted in the Michael Bay movies. Just
Hey,
giant
hey,
truck chest.
type
Yeah.
MP44 Optimus Prime. Prepare to be surprised at what you're gonna see. Like M for mother, P for papa. MP44.
Well, if you had used the International Phonetic Alphabet, I would have been happier. But you
Oh,
didn't. Only one of them was from the International Phonetic Alphabet. Should have been Mike Papa, but you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Oh my
I
God! Why
forgot
does
what
he have an
T was.
axe?
Okay,
I don't
it's his
remember this from
energy
the
on
show.
his.
I don't remember him having like a fucking energy
It
axe,
only
but I'm
happened.
okay with it.
It only happened. It only happened in one episode, the second episode, but it was never seen again. This is an actual toy that Takara is making, and look how show accurate it is.
What?
Look,
And
the
look
wheels
at all
on
the
his legs
accoutrements.
are gone. I mean, they could never hide the wheels on his legs without bulking up their width, but
Yeah,
they found a way here.
that's ingenious.
But there's
Yeah.
one little problem:
What?
$500.
I'll save up. Look at this. That's worth
And look,
$500.
the gray
Yeah.
parts under his chest are hidden in the
I'm
in truck
sorry.
mode, just like in the show. And we also, how the hell did that disappear?
I'm sorry. What I have on screen right now is the most beautiful thing I've seen all day. Oh my God. This is why we can't have nice things. This right here.
Japan gets the nice things.
Well,
So,
that
on
was a
another note,
thing.
um, how how much presence would you say Mecha has on Western entertainment? Because at the moment, unless I stop to think about it, I don't think there are many mecha or robot related shows in in
Oh,
this
no, I do
in the
remember this
West.
show. Holy shit. Yeah, Big Guy
Oh,
Rusty.
this thing.
Okay. Yes.
This was on what? This was on Fox Kids,
Yeah, that was on Fox. That was, yeah,
or was it
so
on Fox?
same kind of time block though as Jetix. I think you're right. I
Big
think it was
guy,
on
rusty
Fox.
flavor. Ooh, I remember that too. The name actually it clicked. Yeah, I remember Rusty.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude! Fuck, it's making me feel mega old now. Son of a bitch. Fuck.
I mean, you are the oldest here.
Shut up.
But yeah,
God, I had
no.
to catch myself there. I was gonna say something that YouTube would totally demonetize you for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not even monetized to begin with. We're not big enough yet.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah, we
they
don't
check
want
that
anything
crap.
in yeah, they do. Um but yeah, no, that was a good question though. Like, how much has it influenced it? I mean, we have some obvious influences like Transformers, Pacific Rim.
Debatable.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Transformers.
Pacific Rim though, the first one was so good. Like, just
Debatable.
I'll fight you.
Do it.
It's not like it was an amazing narrative. I'm not saying it was like the most amazing narrative. It was very basic. It was very simple, but the visual effects that went into it and the way that they built the world and the mechs and things like that, those were all done very very well. Like, the robots looked like they were actually there, and there's a lot of really interesting reasons for that, which definitely, like, they completely didn't do in the sequel, which is why it just feels to a lot of people just so much worse. Not only is it a dumber plot, but the the mechs, when they move in the first one, they look like they have weight. It takes time to move and punch and things like that. It looks like these are what mechs would really be like. In the second movie, they're just like
Yeah.
zipping the fuck around like little ninjas.
I will say this: I could have forgiven all of its flaws if they didn't force the romance. This was the most forced romance I've seen in anything.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I mean, like they
didn't really
have
play a
to be.
huge role in it though. It was more of the connection between the two pilots, and yeah, there was romance, but I don't know.
Like,
Maybe I'm just
why couldn't
remembering
they
it
just have
different,
a?
but
Why couldn't they have someone who's controlling the robot and a co-pilot to check the system? You know, kind of like actual jets, fighter jets. some jets have a pilot and a co-pilot, a Rio, so to speak.
I don't know. I did find the explanation they had for having two pilots somewhat interesting because it forced a certain dynamic between characters.
But it forced
And
an unrealistic one, in my opinion, because they have to be in sync mentally and they have to do things at the same time, and it's like no one can think all these attacks at the same time together. It's like
well, it's
you're
I
taking the
mean,
piss there,
and
mate.
that's the thing. Like they're meshing with the computer and each other, and so they show the issues with that. Like it gets the benefit of them moving in basic unison as long as they're linking well. But they also have the added side effects of accidentally seeing into things if their minds wander or like physically getting injured through overloading or things like that. Um, I didn't think it was that bad. Like sure it has problems. You can obviously poke holes in it, but you can poke holes in any movie. So I don't think that's necessarily a flaw. I just think I think they thought more about the story than anything else, but you can't deny that it was definitely influenced by Japanese mecha.
Yeah, Mecha, Kaiju.
Yeah, it's the kaiju
Um,
versus mecha that America wanted and needed.
so we have Transformers, kind of.
Yeah,
Pacific Rim. What else? What other mecha, American-made
I mean
mecha
there's Ex
exists?
Machina, like if that counts, which I don't know if it does because it's basically I don't know how much I want to say about the film because that's definitely something I don't want to spoil for people who haven't seen it. But um, the basic premise is that this guy, a CEO, brings in one of his employees who won some kind of competition to help him test out this new technology and test out AI that he's put into a humanoid robot to see if it will pass as a person. And the whole time, it's just trying to figure out how much of this is real, how accurate or how human is this artificial intelligence. But it's very clearly a robot for a lot of the film. And there are certain
Hmm.
revelations that you have near the end of the film that are a little bit like, you get it. It's one of those things where it's like, I should have seen that before, but I didn't. Why didn't I see that? But I don't. But I think it would count as mecha because again, like one of the main focuses is on
Oh,
an android, a robot.
well, speaking of androids and robots, RoboCop and Terminator just came to my mind.
Oh my god, yes. Hang on, is RoboCop a mecha? No, that's just a Pinterest thing. I don't want that. You're not giving me my answer. I want my
I want
answer.
answers.
I need answers. I demand them.
Kingstyle says GoBots and Megas XLR. Oh yeah, GoBots. Does
That
anyone
was
know
a
GoBots?
thing. That
It
was a
was
thing.
a Transformers wannabe. Even if it did come up before Transformers, it's still a Transformers wannabe.
I just everything is just very wrong with that, and I love it. I don't know what it is, but sometimes like when it's just inescapably terrible, I love it.
Here's an interesting story about Transformers when it was being pitched to different studios. There was another
Oh,
cartoon. I
Megas
forget what it's
XLR.
called, but it's about a boy who magically turns into a cartoon, into a car. Oh, I'm having strokes today.
Wasn't that in like a Rick and Morty episode? That's the only thing I can think of for that.
Yeah, I turned Morty into a car.
What?
Why is hang on?
Wait. Let me remember. I think it was called Turbo Teen. Yes, that's the cartoon.
17? Oh
I'm
god.
gonna look up Turbo
Yeah.
Team in a second, but I want you to look at what's on screen right
17.
now.
Oh yes, I've seen this
Why is
episode
the head
called
a car?
Magus.
Like it's not a transformer. The
What?
head is a car. I'm what?
Oh, that's Megas XLR, just one of the greatest
Yeah.
goddamn cartoons in the
What is
universe.
happening right now? What is
And I'm
this?
way too loud. I'm moving my mic away from my mouth. Holy shit!
It's the Burger King Club, or what's left of them, just older. And the last one is well, he's about a meal away from a heart attack.
So you said it was what, Turbo Team?
Yeah, Turbo Teen. Now this show, they wanted to make that, but when someone pitched the idea for Transformers,
It gave me the
one guy said,
goddamn snail movie.
one guy
Protein
said,
King, you're
Turbo.
absolutely right.
one of the
Chicks
writers of
dig giant
Transformers said,
robots.
he told the story. Why don't we make? We got these cool toys from Japan. Let's make a cartoon about those. And the guy said, no one's going to identify with the robots. And that guy must be kicking himself right now if he's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at certain points, people have identified with inanimate objects in shows. I don't think they actually understood back then what people identify with.
But the thing is, the Transformers had personalities.
Yeah.
They could talk, so they could carry the cartoons on their own. And because they weren't human, they were allowed to get away with things that censorship wouldn't have allowed human characters to get away with. Remember, they
Yeah.
got blasted a lot. Like, how many times did people get shot? And I mean, actually shot on GI Joe.
Almost never.
Exactly.
How many times did like Transformers get legit destroyed and then just come back the next episode?
Yeah, season
Yeah.
2 had kind of this reset thing per episode. The first season had continuity. Each episode affected what came next.
Yeah.
Who
Um,
needs that?
the movie, on the other hand, that went full on dark, and a lot of people will say that is
It is the
just the
pinnacle.
movie.
And it taught me how to dare. Dare to believe that you can survive. Dare to be
You
all
hold the
that you
future in
can
your
be.
hand.
And
It's
anyone who
time to
gets
take a
that
stand.
joke, thank you.
1,000 points if you get it.
I don't know
If
what
you
the
don't
points
get
are
it,
going towards, but hey, maybe if you join our Discord, I'll just give you some weeb cred. Hey, here's a perfect time because I just realized we went about 13 minutes over.
I was about to say something about that in the Discord.
Yeah, so let me plug the Discord for a second, and I'll put links to that and stuff in the description and all that. So before we head out today, my name once again is Josh in the Shell. This is my channel. This is my podcast that I host with Orphan and Boba. And Dark Sharingan has been a great guest in the past, but I realized he's been like one of the only guests we've had. So he's going to have to say goodbye for now, but he is still on the Discord, and you can talk to him, me, Orphan, Boba, and whoever you want on the Discord. And that's not all, because the Discord, to me, is very important. It's our community. It's our place where we can all be nerds, whether you're a weeb, whether you're a gamer, whether you're a history nerd, whatever you want. We are trying to create a community where everyone is welcome. You can talk about your nerdy things, you can socialize with people, you can make new friends. That is the goal, and I am a professional charisma coach. I do now have a Patreon as well, which you can find on the Discord. I'll also just be posting some tips and tricks. You can come to us for moral support. Whatever you want to do, you can approach me about one-to-one lessons on that type of stuff. There's so much that you can get, and all you have to do is go to the Discord. So that's my little plug for our Discord, and let me put the link in the comments if I can find the link again, which is somewhere
Just,
on my phone.
just one thing. I have to say, just don't anger our resident yandere. She's
Uh,
crazy.
Yeah, so there is a yandere on the podcast and two yanderes in the server.
Uh-oh.
There's not much that you can do if one of them latches onto you and murders you in your sleep. So I do not apologize. You have been warned.
Well, I guess I will have to say goodbye to all you beautiful commoners. I will try some of your commoner food at some point, just so I could vomit it out. Nah,
I feel like that's
if you
That's
from
want more
pretty
of
something.
rough,
a
dude.
Oran High School Host Club,
Of course it
which
is.
I've never watched, to be honest.
Neither have I, as you can tell.
So, if you want more of me, just request me. I'll be on
Yeah,
more often if Josh approves. But until then, I've got my own Twitch channel. Just search Dark Sharingan Z, and if you've got eyes, you can see my um, thumbnail. Just go to that. I do Simpsons live commentaries as we watch them. Chris usually joins me,
hang
as well as my
on.
co-host.
Hang on. I'm going to Twitch right now and I'm grabbing your link
Oh,
and I'm just going to
cool.
put it in the chat. That'll just make it
Hurrah.
easier.
Yeah,
Dark
we'll do other stuff.
Sharingan.
Orphan and I shall actually do a live commentary on Transformers the movie, 1986 at point.
Hmm.
And Josh, if you want in on that, I might be able to squeeze you in, depending on whether or not previous participants may or may not want to join.
Well, you know what? I'm pretty fat. I understand it's very difficult to squeeze me in anywhere.
We'll see how it goes. I'm just trying to find the best way to do it. So, yeah, look forward to a Transformers movie live comment. I could do it on my own, but I think I'm going to need someone to calm me down because I want that movie to
I
get
I don't know
recited word
why.
for word.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't just get a link to share from the phone app on Twitch. But I'm just gonna open up the website and get your link there. Jesus. I'm just trying to promote this guy.
It's because Twitch hates you. Nail. I saw a bird. It was pretty.
I shall post
Kick
it in
its
the chat.
ass.
Should I post it in the Discord or sorry, not
Post it in
Discord.
both. Post it in Discord and post it in the comments.
I was gonna say YouTube or Twitch.
Yeah, do both.
If you post it in YouTube, I can put it in Twitch. Yeah, the all this effort because obviously we need to be supporting our fellow creators and our guests.
Okay.
I keep trying to be on Dark's streams, and then either I'm too busy or he's too busy, or one or both of us forgets. It's never good. It's also terrible because he has a lot of streams, and somehow I keep forgetting. There's probably something wrong with me. I'm not gonna lie.
It is not showing for some reason.
That's super weird. I'm just gonna. I'm
Hang on,
just.
let me try to get one. Let me try to get it.
This is important.
Yes, it's
I'm
very
pretty sure I
important.
can get it.
No, that's not the link that I copied, and you know that.
Okay, well, while let's not waste so much time.
You know what? Let's. How about this? We've made it clear that we want people to go to your channel, and it's the same name as you have on here. Hopefully, they end up joining the Discord and they can find you there, or they can find you on Twitch at the exact same name.
You can find it on the Discord now.
Okay, perfect. Does anyone have any? God, that sounds so ominous. Any last words?
You know what?
Uh,
I'd just like to say this. I think I've come up with a theme song that would encapsulate everything that this podcast is, and I'm gonna steal it from a fellow Australian YouTuber, pretty much.
Do it.
Good.
Da 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 da. Theme song.
Oh boy. Well, the only thing I will say at the end, despite my constant rambling on this episode, I do not consider myself to be a hardcore mecha fan per se. I like some mecha shows, and I've read up on it, but I don't like every mecha that's come out. So I'm just a casual viewer.
Hmm. Yeah, I've got a few that I'm really, really into, and then the rest I don't really know much about. So,
Mm,
I
if
will
that
say
wasn't
that
blatantly obvious,
Japanese robots do look cool, no matter what
yeah,
show they're in.
that's true.
me too. Also, just gotta say yet again, chicks dig giant robots.
That they do.
That
That
they
they
do.
do.
That they do.
Well, anyway, thank you so much for coming, everyone. I bid you adieu.
Bye bye.
Peace.